Hello friends! So on this beautiful sunny spring day, I'm happily harvesting some nettles that I planted last year. And these were seedlings. So one little plant planted here, and this year it's a hedge of bunches. So each plant made a patch that's about, this is about three 3 feet around here from one plant planted last year. So 1 year of growth creates a clump about 3 feet around, and spreads with the roots, and it shoots up new plants. And also when it is able to go to seed, the seeds will spread all around. So if you don't want nettle, if you want to plant nettle on the edge of your garden or in your garden, just try to cut it back in the spring for spring eating, alternative to spinach and any kind of steamed green like Swiss chard or spinach. But me, it's one of my favorite foods in general. So it's just a nutritional, super high mineral, general tonic for the body, and it comes up early, even here in the Northeast in Quebec, southern Quebec, where we are right now. It comes up in even mid-March sometimes, all the way to the 1st of April. So it's the first green that pretty much pops up. There's some other perennial herbs that come up as well, but this is like a super choice edible green. When your body's looking for it after the end of a long winter, your liver's getting full, and it's just a cleansing, super nourishing, grounding food that tastes like the forest. And it's great to make a juice as well. We've been making juice, just gathering them and putting them in the blender with water and just for about 15 seconds, and then passing it through a filter, a thin filter, and just pressing it through, and it's a brilliant, vibrant green juice. And it's very green, very high in chlorophyll, and it's it's a flavor that is like, oh, it tastes good. It's not like wheatgrass that strong, but it has a really nice green flavor, and very nourishing. So I'll show you how I harvest here. You can harvest because they have little pricks, stinging nettle. So it has these little hairs on them that, if you grew up on the West Coast, or where nettles are, and you've ever accidentally touched them, the more dry they are and stressed out, the more, I think it's formic acid in the hairs that pierces your skin. So it's used for different circulation conditions to help get the lymph moving. So you can actually slap parts of your body that have stagnation, and it helps flow. Even taking off your shirt, and I've seen it in the Amazon, they have that tradition of cutting branches and hitting the different parts of the body to help the movement. So yeah, here in the spring we harvest them, and then as they get a little more fibrous, it's more for herbal tea, so we dry them, and then we brew it a strong infusion with them, and just so nourishing. So if you're gonna do it barehanded, I just touch the very top like this and cut, and you can do it. But if you really want to harvest, like we have a lot here, so I'm gonna use some gloves and just take about 4 or 5 shoots at a time and just clink, and that's a way of really hedging back the nettle patch. And if you do that all season, and just stopping at the point that it does go to flower, so, or gather the flowers even, but you don't want to harvest it once it goes to flower, because it has more oxalic crystals in the leaves. So you don't want to harvest once it starts going to flower. And then you could harvest the seeds. The seeds are a nutritious food, or for planting next year. And then once it goes dormant in the fall to the next spring, you can harvest the roots, and it's a reproductive tonic as well. So Very useful plant. It grows out of control abundant. So it's a great food to have around because you plant it and you can pass it on to the next generations. What's your experience with nettle? Mmm. Pura vida. Hope that was helpful.